This video is a walkthrough of the May 2018 Foundation Tier Paper 1 non-calculator. I'm going to do it all in one go as if I'm taking the exam. So I'm going to just make a start. So question 1, write 6,324 correct to the nearest thousand. So we need to know, is it close to 6,000 or is it close to 7,000? What's the nearest thousand? And it's closer to 6,000. So that's the answer. Question 2. Write the following numbers in order of size. Start with the smallest number. So the smallest number is the biggest negative. So -6 is less than -5. So we're going to start with -6. Then the only other negative we've got is -5. Then 0. Then 6. And 12 is the biggest. Part B. Write the following numbers in order of size. Start with the smallest number. So we've got decimals this time. So we look at the tenths first. So we've got 0, 7, 8 and 7. So the smallest one is the 0, 0.078. The biggest one was which one that had the 8 in the tenths. And we've got 2 with 7 in the tenths. Then we look at the hundredths next. This one's got a 0. This one's got an 8. So the one with the 0 is smaller. 0.708 and then 0.78. Question 3. Write 20% as a fraction. So a percent is out of 100. So it's 20 out of 100. It doesn't say give your answer in the simplest form. So 20 out of 100 would be okay. If we simplified it, they're both in the 20 times table. So it'd be 1/5, 1 out of 5. So 1 times 20 and 5 times 20. Question 4. Here is a list of 4 fractions. So we've got 4/16, 2/8, 15/60 and 3/9. One of these fractions is not equivalent to 1/4, so can't be simplified to 1/4. Write down this fraction. So can 4/16 be simplified to 1/4? So if I divide top and bottom by 4, 4 over 4 is 1, 16 over 4 is 4. And a quarter can be multiplied by 4 top and bottom to make 4/16. 2/8 can be simplified to 1/4 as well. They're both in the 2 times table. 2 over 2 is 1 and 8 over 2 is 4. 15/60. They are both in the 15 times table. And if you divide 15 by 15, you get 1. And 15 goes into 64 times. So that's also a quarter. 3/9. They're both in the 3 times table. So I can divide them both by 3. And that's actually a third, not a quarter. So which one is not equivalent, not the same as a quarter? That's 1/3. Question 5. Write down the first even multiple of 7. So the multiples of 7, that means the 7 times table. So it's 7, 14, 21, 28, and so on. The first even number, so 7 is odd. The first even is 14. Question 6. Simplify 3 times 4t. So 3 times 4 makes 12, and 4t means 4 times t. So it's like 3 times 4 times t, which is 12 times t. which is just 12t. So 3 times 4t is 12t. And simplify 8a, take away 3a plus 2a. So 8a's, you've got 8a's, you take away 3a's, that leaves you with 5a's plus 2a's, that's 7. Question 7. Here is a probability scale. It shows the probability of each of the events A, B, C, and D. So we've got A at 0, all the way, no chance of it happening. Goes all the way up, so half chance, 50% chance of happening in the middle. And then 1 means 100% chance, so certain. And question A says, write down the letter of the event which is certain. So D, it's got 100% chance of happening, so it is certain, it's on the 1. Unlikely, so question B says write down the letter of the event that's unlikely. So A is absolutely impossible, it's got no chance of happening, so we can't call that unlikely. So B has got less than a half chance, quite a small chance of happening, so we can call that unlikely. Okay, a different question, I think. So there are 12 counters in a bag. 3 are red, 1 blue, 2 yellow, and the rest are green. Caitlin takes at random a counter from the bag. Show the probability that this counter is yellow or green is 2 out of 3. So how many green counters have we got? We've got 3, 4, 5, 6 so far. So the rest of the counters are green. There's 12 in total. We know the colours are 6. The rest are green. So there are 6 green. That makes 12 in total. Show the probability the counter is yellow or green is 2 out of 3. So we need to write down there are 12, take away the 3, the 1 and the 2. Take away all the other colours, gives us 6 green counters. So we know there's 6 green. There are 2 yellow. So yellow or green. How many counters are yellow or green? So there's 2 yellows, 6 greens. So that's 8 counters. 8 counters are yellow or green, and it's out of 12 in total. So the probability of getting a yellow or a green is 8 out of 12. They are both in the 4 times table. 8 is 2 4s. 12 is 3 4s. So it's 2/3. The probability is 2/3 of getting a yellow or a green. Question 8. 3 kilograms of meat costs £54. So I'll write down 3 kilograms equals £54. Nina buys 2 kilograms of meat. How much does she pay? So we can work out 1 kilogram by dividing by 3. So 54 divided by 3. So you might want to use a method for this. So how many 3's go into 5? That's 1 with a remainder of 2. How many 3's go into 24? That is 8. So that means 1 kilogram is £18. We want 2 kilograms. So that's going to be 2 lots of our £18. and 2 18s is 36. So 2 kilograms of meat must cost £36. Okay, question 9. So we've got a circle. So we've got a circle. The center of the circle is marked with a cross. We can see that. Part A, write down the mathematical name for the straight line shown in the circle. So this line here, the line that joins the center up with the circumference, is called a radius. And part B, write down the mathematical name for the straight line that is touching the circle. A straight line that just touches the circle at one point is called a tangent. Question 10. Tim and 3 friends go on holiday for a week. The 4 friends, so Tim and his friends, will share the costs equally. Here are the costs. So we've got 4 plane tickets, a villa, and a car hire. Work out how much Tim pays for his share. So, well, I guess there's 2 ways of doing it. We can either divide them all by 4 and then add them up, or add them all up and then divide by 4. Doesn't make a difference to us. So let's add up the total cost first, and then we'll divide by 4. So we've got 1,280 for the plane tickets, 640 for the villa, and 220 for the car hire. So 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. 8 plus 4 plus 2. 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 4 is 14. 2 plus 6 plus 2. 2 plus 6 is 8, plus 2 is 10, plus the extra 1, that's 11. And 1 and 1 makes 2. So the total cost is £2,140, and we need to share that out between 4 people. So 2,140 shared out between 4. We can just simplify this. So for half, top and bottom, half of 2,000 is 1,000. Half of 140 is 70. And then I'll half it again. Half of 1,000 is 500. Half of 70 is 35. So Tim has to pay £535. Okay, question 11. Write down an example to show that each of the following 2 statements is not correct. So an example that shows the statement is not correct. The factors of an even number are always even. So the factors of an even number, so let's pick, we can pick most even numbers for this. Well, I guess we can pick all even numbers for this. I'll pick an even number as 20, and 20 is 5 times 4. So 4 is even, but 5 is odd. So 5 is a factor of 20 and it is odd. The second one, all the digits in an odd number are odd. So we need an odd number with an even digit. So 21. So as long as the last number's odd, as long as the ones are odd, we can have any number we like. So any combination of digits we like. So all of the digits in odd number odd, 21, and the 2 is of course even. Okay, question 12. A shop sells desktop computers, laptops and tablets. We've got a composite bar chart and it shows information about the sales over the last 3 years. So what's the question? So we've got the bar chart here. We've got a key, so the black bit's desktop, the diagonal lines are laptops, and the grey bit is tablets. Write down the number of desktop computers sold in 2015. So that's the black bit, and it appears to be at 100. So let's say it's 100. So we'll say there's 100 desktops sold in 2015. Work out the total number of laptops sold in the 3 years. Laptops is the diagonal lines. So we need to work out how tall each of these bars are. So this first one, 2015, goes from 100. And these are in 20s up the side. Each little box is 20. So it goes from 100 to 260. So I'll write 260, take away 100. That's 160 in 2015. 2016, it is 340 at the top. Take away 120 at the bottom, which is 220. And 2017, we've got 440, take away 160. So take away the 60 first. 440 take away 60 is 380. Take away the 100, 280. And we need to add them up. So that's 160 plus 220 plus 280. So 220 plus 280 is 500, plus the 160, so that's 660. Part C, state the item that's had the greatest increase in sales over 3 years, over the 3 years. Give a reason for your answer. So where's the greatest increase? Well, it's definitely going to be tablets, because they started selling 60 in the first year, and then that went up to 160, and now it's at, so 60, 160, 260 plus 80, 340. So the tablets have more than doubled every year. So the tablets have gone up by more than double every year. The desktops don't seem to have risen by much. They haven't even doubled over the whole period, and neither have the laptops. So the tablets increase is much bigger. So we'll say the tablets have more than doubled each year, and desktops, laptops have not doubled. In sales. Okay, we're still going. Part D. So we've got Alex, and he's saying in 2017, more tablets were sold than desktops. This means the shop makes more profit from the sale of tablets than from the sale of desktops. So just because they've sold more, we haven't got a clue how much profit they're making. So the profit depends on how much they paid for them and how much they sold them for. We've got no idea what they sold them for or what they bought them for. So we've got no clue what the profit is. We've got no idea. So no, Alex is not correct. We just don't know. We don't know the profit. We don't know how much profit was made. We only know the number sold. That should be enough. Okay, question 13. A piece of wire is 240 centimeters long. Peter cuts two 45-centimeter lengths off of the wire. He then cuts the rest of the wire into as many 40-centimeter lengths as possible. How many 40 centimeters can he make? So he's cut two 45s off. Two 45s make 90 centimeters. So 240, take away 90, take away 100 is 140, add back 10, 150 centimeters left. So he's got 150 centimeters. How many 40s can he make? Well, 1 is 40, 2 is 80, 3 is 120, and he can't make the next one. So he can make 3 lengths, 3 40 centimeters out of what's left. Question 14. Gavin, Harry and Isabel each earn the same monthly salary. So each month Gavin is going to save 28% and spend the rest. Harry spends 3/4 and saves the rest. So if he spends 3/4, that means he must save 1/4, because 3/4 and 1/4 make a whole. And the amount Isabel saves to the amount she spends is 3 to 7. So there's 3 and 7 parts. That means there's 10 parts in total. So she saves 3/10 and she spends 7/10. Who saves the most money? So we've got 28%. So Gavin is 28%. Harry is 1/4. And Isabel is 3/10. So I'm going to change these all into, we've got to make them all the same. Let's make them percentages. So 1/4, a quarter is a quarter of 100, 25%, and 3/10 So times top and bottom by 10 is 30 out of 100, which is 30%. So who saves the most? Well, 30% is the biggest, so Isabel saves the most. Question 15. Work out 15% of 160 grams. So 10% is 160 divided by 10, which is 16. 5% is half of that. Half of 16 is 8. So 15% is 16 plus 8, which is 24. Question 16. P equals 4x plus 3y. X is 5 and y is -2. Work out the value of P. So P is 4 lots of 5 plus 3 lots of -2. So 4 times 5, that makes 20. And 3 lots of -2 is -6. So it's 20 plus -6, or just 20 minus 6, which is 14. Part B, expand. So we're going to times then times. 4e times e is 4e squared. 4e times 2 is 8e. And solve. So let's expand first. So get rid of the bracket first. 3 times m is 3m. 3 times -4 is -12. 3 to 4s are 12. That equals 21. We want to get m by itself. So we're going to get rid of the -12. And we'll do that by plussing 12 to both sides. So then the 12's gone, which leaves us 3m equals 21 plus 12, 33. And then divide both sides by 3. So m equals 33 divided by 3, 11. M is 11. Question 17. There are some chocolates in a box. 1/4 of the chocolates contain nuts. The rest do not contain nuts. So that's 3/4 do not contain nuts. Write down the ratio of chocolates that contain nuts to the number that do not contain nuts. Okay, so we've got 1/4 to 3/4. We want to get rid of the denominator. They're already both the same, so it's just 1 to 3. So what I've done there is I've multiplied them both by 4. Multiply 1/4 by 4 to get 1. Multiply 3/4 by 4 to get 3. And that's the answer, 1 to 3. Okay, question 18. A is multiples of 5 between 14 and 26. So anything in the 5 times table between 14 and 26. So that's 15, 20, and 25. B is odd numbers between 14 and 26. So 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, and 25. List the members of the union of A and B. So that means anything that's in A and anything that's in B is all counted. So that's all of the numbers here. So we just need to write them all down. So 15, 17, 19, 20 from the top, 21, 23, and 25. 15 and 25 are in both, but we don't need to write them twice. They're just a number in the union of A and B. Describe the members of A and B. So the numbers in A and B are 15 and 25. I'll write 15 and 25. But it says describe, so it must want some words. So they are 15 and 25 are in both A and B. Okay, question 19. Work out 2 and 1/7 plus 1 and 1/4. Okay, so we want to get rid of the numbers in front, these mixed numbers, and change them into top-heavy fractions. So I've got 2 whole ones and 1/7. A whole is a 7th, so 2 7s are 14. And so we've got 14 7ths and 1/7, which is 15 7ths. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15. So 2 whole ones and 1/7 is 15 7ths. And we've got 1 whole one and 1/4. If we're in quarters, a whole is 4 quarters. So 4 quarters plus 1/4 is 5 quarters. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So now we're going to add these fractions. To add fractions, we need to make the denominators the same. So I'm going to multiply 15 7ths, top and bottom, by 4. And for 5 quarters, I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 7. And that should make my bottom numbers the same. 4 15s, that's 60. 4 7s are 28. 5 7s is 35 over 4 7s, which is 28. So we've made the bottom numbers the same. Now we can just add the top. So 60 plus 35, that's 95. And it doesn't say anything about giving our answer in a certain form. So we're just going to give our answer as 95 over 28. Part B. Work out 1 and 1/5 divided by 3 quarters. So again, firstly, I'm going to get rid of the mixed number and make it top heavy. So 1, we're in fifths, so a whole one is 5/5. So we've got 5/5 and 1/5, which is 6/5. Or 1 times 5 is 5, plus 1 is 6, divided by 3 quarters. So to divide the fractions, I am going to change it to a times and flip over the second fraction. Dividing by 3 quarters is the same as timesing by 4 over 3. And then to times fractions, I'm just going to times the top. 6 times 4 is 24. Times the bottom, 5 times 3 is 15. We need to simplify it and change it to a mixed number. So 24 and 15 are both in the 3 times table. 24 is 3 times 8. 15 is 3 times 5. So we've got 8/5, and we need a mixed number as well. So if I've got 8/5, that means I've got 1 whole one, because 5/5 is a whole. So I've got 1 whole one, that's 5. How many more have I got? 3 more. 1 whole one and 3/5. Question 20. In a village, the number of houses and the number of flats are in the ratio 7:4. So that's houses to flats, 7:4. The number of flats to the number of bungalows are in the ratio 8:5. Okay, so we're going to make, well, the question says there are 50 bungalows, how many houses are there? So we could do it separate one for the bungalows, find out how many flats there are, then do a separate one for the houses, or we could make it into one ratio, which would need to make the flats the same. So I've got 4 flats here, 8 flats here. I can just double my first ratio. So I changed the ratio of houses to flats to 14:8, and I've got flats to bungalows as 8:5. So houses to flats to bungalows is 14:8:5. So there are 50 bungalows. To get from 5 to 50, I times by 10. So I'm going to multiply them all by 10. So 80 flats and 140 houses. How many houses are there? 140. Renee? Let's go Renee. Renee buys 5 kilograms of sweets to sell. She pays £10 for the sweets. She puts them into bags with 250 grams in each bag. She sells each bag for 65p. She sells them all, work out her profit. So her cost is £10, and she's got 5 kilograms, which is 5,000 grams of sweets. 250 grams of sweets go into a bag. So 1,000 grams is 4 bags. So times that by 5, 5,000 grams must be 20 bags of sweets. So she's got 20 bags of sweets, and she's selling them for 65p each. So times by 10 is 650, and times by 2, 650 times by 2 is 1,300. So it's 1,300 pence, which is £13. So she's selling her sweets for £13, and she paid £10 for them. So profit, or percentage change, is going to be the change over the original times 100. So how much has her money changed? What's her profit? How much has it gone up by? £3. She's made £3. She started with 10, now she's got 13. So her profit is £3. Divide by the original, which was £10 she started with, times 100. So that's, well, 300 over 10, which is 30%. Or 0.3 times 100, 30 again. So 30% profit. A cycle race across America is 3,069.25 miles in length. One knows his average speed for his previous races is 15.12 miles per hour, and for the next race across America, he will cycle for 8 hours a day. Estimate how many days it will take one to complete the race. So when we're making an estimate, we can use rounded numbers. So we're going to round 3069.25 to 3000, and 15 miles per hour, we can call that 15 miles per hour. You could use 20. I think 15 is going to be an easy enough number to use, and it's much closer to the original. So I'm going to use 15. You could have used one significant figure and gone for 20, but I'm going to stick with 15. Estimate how many days it will take one to complete the race. So 8 hours per day, doing 15 miles per hour. So 8 hours at 15 miles per hour. 8 times 15 is, well, 8 times 10 is 80. 8 times 5 is 40. So it's 120 miles per day. He's going to do 120 miles per day. And he's got 3,000 miles to do. So 3,000 miles, 120 per day. So how many days? So 300 over 12. If I half top and bottom, that would be 150 over 6. Half again, 75 over 3. And how many 3's going to 75? That is 25. 75 divided by 3 is 25. So it's 25 days. Wan trains for the race. The average speed he can cycle at increases to 16.27 miles per hour. How does this affect your answer? So it would take him less time. If he can cycle faster, it would take him less time. But would we have still used 15 to do our estimate, or would we have used 16? That depends. So I'm going to play safe and answer both of those questions. So I'm going to put he would take fewer days if he cycled faster. And then I'll put but I would have still used 15 for my estimate. So answer wouldn't change. Question 23. We've got the base of a pyramid as a square with a side of 6. So 6, 6, 6, 6. The height is 4. That's in the picture. M is the midpoint of BC in the middle. And V to M is 5. Draw an accurate front elevation of the pyramid from the direction of the arrow. So it's 6 along the bottom and it's 4 tall. So from the front we're going to see 6 along the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 along the bottom. And it's 4 tall. So 1, 2, 3, 4 tall. Then I'm just going to join up my pyramid. So it's 6 along the bottom and 4 tall. That's part A done. Work out the total surface area of the pyramid. So surface area is area of all the surfaces added up. So we've got a square at the bottom. So the area of the square is 6 times 6, which is 36 centimeters squared. And we've got 4 of these identical triangles, which are 6 along the base and 5 in height. So we've got triangle. So the area of a triangle is half base times height. So half, the base is 6 and the height is 5. So half times 6 times 5, which is 3 times 5, which is 15 centimeters squared. So I've got 1 square plus 4 triangles to make the total surface area. 1 square is 36, and I've got 4 lots of 15. 4 15s is 60. So it's 36 plus 60, which is 96 centimeters squared. Now just check it is centimeters. So area is going to be in centimeters squared. We measure area in squares. Question 24. A pattern is made from 4 identical squares. The sides of the squares are parallel to the axes. And we've got the coordinates of A on the diagram, coordinates of B on the diagram, and we've got point C marked. Work out the coordinates of C. So key point is we've got squares here. So the base and the height of each one will be the same. And C is in the middle of the X direction change. So we've gone 2 squares along from each of the points to get to C. So if we look at the X's, which is 6 and 38, so the change is 38 minus 6, which is 32. So the total change is 32. C is halfway along that change. So half of 32 is 16. And we can even say, if that's the 2 squares are 16. 1 square is 8. So each square is 8 by 8. So we were told the squares are identical, so they're all 8 by 8 squares. So we can work out where C is now if we just go back 2 squares from B. So we take away 16 from the X and take away 16 from the Y, and that will give us our coordinates. So 38 take away 16 and 36. Where have I gone? 38 take away 16 and 36 take away 16, which is 38 take away 16, take away 10 is 28, take away 6 is 22. 36 take away 16, take away 10 is 26, take away 6 is 20. So we're at 22, 20. And question 25. On the grid below, draw the graph of y equals 1 minus 4x for the values of minus 3, x minus 3 to plus 3. So we can draw a grid. It is a straight line graph, so we wouldn't have to work out all of the points. You can just do 3 points to make sure they line up. So let's work out, let's do the positives. It's usually easier to work with positive numbers. So for 3, when x is 3, y equals 1 minus 4 times 3, which is 1 minus 12. 1 minus 12 is minus 11. Let's do 2. So y equals 1 minus 4 times 2, just changing x into 2, which is 1 minus 8, which is minus 7. And we'll do 1 as well. 1 minus 4 times 1, which is 1 minus 4, which is minus 3. So you should start seeing a pattern emerge here. I'll do 0 as well. So 1 minus 4 times nothing, which is 1 minus nothing, which is 1. So the pattern is, it's going backwards in 4s or going down in 4s as we go forwards. So if I just add on 4, add on 4, add on 4. So that gives me all my points to plot. So down 4, down 4, down 4, down 4, down 4, down 4. So it should make a nice straight line. So we've got minus 3, 13. Minus 2, 9. Minus 1, 5. Zero, 1. 1 minus 3. 2 minus 7. And 3 minus 11. And then we just join it up for a straight line. Use the red. And we can extend it as far as we want. And there we have our line. Finally, question 26, work out 2a plus b as a column vector. So 2 A's, 2 of these, plus 1 of these. So this is a movement along 5 up 2. So we're going to go along 5 up 2, along 5 up 2, and then we're going to do our movement of back 1 down 7. But all we've got to do is add along the columns. So 2 of these, 2 5 2's, plus a minus 1 7. 2 of these will be along 10, up 4. So just doubling both the movements. And then we just add. So if we go along 10, but back 1, that's a total of along 9. If I go up 4 and up another 7, that's a total of up 11. So 10 minus 1 is 9, 4 plus 7 is 11. And we're done.